Above all nations, a brand rooted with our heritage in mind. Featuring the Babylon Has Fallen hoodie, this mighty piece is a bold statement describing the times we're living in. Also perfect for keeping warm while standing firm in your faith. You won't be able to miss the vibrant Song of Solomon tee, inspired by Song of Solomon 1 and 10, a piece that represents our royal heritage that the Most High gave us. Head over to aboveallnations.shop to grab yours now. They're moving fast. That's aboveallnations.shop. Kwame Yashwala.
I hope y'all like that. That was Supplication by Roy the Chef. It's dangerous out here. I hope you guys make it home safe.
I just never go that far, but that's all they
why is she evil?
She just like, yeah, they just say
she into astrology.
Nah, she just say evil for us. She was like,
she's just crazy.
Yeah,
She's manipulative. Now he's saying
I wouldn't say
Yo, check it out. You ain't worried about that.
They're gonna show you at the end.
So that was that a knocking. That's probably.
Yo, what was that about? Don't worry about it. You wouldn't understand.
So we're gonna get back into what we were teaching about being covetous, man, and even in that, and understanding, you know, the so-called white man, how he's taking over neighborhoods, how he's taking over cities, man. That shows you the covetous eye of Esau. He's not satisfied with his portion. The man sold his birthright to Jacob, and yet wanted more. He wanted his birthright back. So he had a perpetual hatred towards Jacob. So much so that he sought to kill Jacob. And that perpetual hatred is still going on today. That covetous mind is still going on today. And it's affecting our people. Because we tend to look at the so-called white man as the measure of success. But in being in that measure of success, it causes us not to be satisfied with the portion that was given unto us. So, in not being satisfied, we tend to rape, rob, murder for money. Perverting our own people, man. People get into the music industry with sincere minds that they just want to sing, man. Even a lot of our gospel artists got that mindset that they just want to sing praises to the Most High God. But as you come into that industry, you find that, man, it's perverted. The only way that you're going to get to the top is you got to sleep your way to the top. You got to do lewd things to get to the top, to make the money that you thought you were making, to be around people who so-called love the Most High. Love gospel music, but they're perverting this way, man. They're perverting their own people. Why? Because they got a love for money, and it's become the root of all evil. Money, the desire to have it, has taken over their own thought process. Well, now they hate their brother and sister. They will take their brother and sister bring them into the studio and tell them that the only way you're going to have a #1 hit is if you sleep with me, or you sleep with me and my boys. Perverting your sisters, man. It's a shame. It's a shame the way we do our own people. But this is why you got to come back to these laws, statutes, and commandments. Because your pursuit, man, you're not realizing that one day you're going to have to give an account for your life. One day you're going to die. And that pursuit for money, what did it leave you? Let's go back to the book of Luke. Man, our people, they don't realize, man. You in a fight, you in a battle for your soul, man. It don't matter what industry you in. It don't matter what you do for a living. Being covetous and having that envious mindset will pervert your thought process. It will have you undermining your own brother and sister. To do what? Elevate yourself to the top. You got the same thing going on in corporate America. People working 9-to-5 jobs, trying to provide for their own family, and yet you got another snake in the back trying to get your position, trying to discredit your work to appear as theirs. So what? So they can be where you are. Why? Because they got a covetous heart, man. They got a covetous mind. They think that that's the way to success. That's the way how you gain prominence in his life. But in the end, hey, all the robbery, all the snitching, all the underhanded things that you've done, you're going to give an account. Even Christ taught this same thing, man. Let's go to the book of Matthew chapter 19. Christ taught us an example, the laws of the Most High God, man. This is the book of Matthew chapter 19, beginning at verse number 16. And it reads, "And behold, one came unto him and said, Good master, what good thing shall I do that I may have eternal life? And he said unto him, Why callest thou me good? There is none good but one, that is God. But if thou wilt enter into life, keep the commandments. And he said unto him, Which? Yahweh said, Thou shalt do no murder, thou shalt not commit adultery, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not bear false witness. Honor thy father and thy mother, and thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. So let's hear what the young man said. The young man saith unto him, All these things have I kept from my youth up. What lack I yet? And Yahweh said unto him, If thou wilt be perfect, go and sell that thou hast, and give to the poor, and thou shalt have treasure in heaven, and come and follow me. But when the young man heard that saying, he went away sorrowful, for he had great possession. Man, and this is our life, man. The young man understood that in order to gain eternal life, I gotta be perfect. I gotta keep the commandments. And said, man, mocking Yahweh Shai, man, what lack I yet? Man, I'm getting it. I'ma gain the kingdom. But Christ said, hey, if you gonna be perfect, sell all that thou hast and give to the poor. But that was hurtful, it was sorrowful to him, because he was holding by his own possessions. Why? Because that man was covetous. You see, Christ left that law out when he spoke to the young man. Why? Because he already knew the young man's heart. You wrapped up in your own possessions. You can't see the destitution of your own people. You won't give a meal to your own brother. but yet you want to gain the kingdom. How can you gain the kingdom when you hate your own brother? My hand is supposed to be open towards my brother. But when a man that's covetous, he's not satisfied with his own portion. That's what Sirach is teaching us, man. Because Sirach understood the laws of the Most High. And in his understanding, he knew that he had to teach his children. And in teaching your children, you got to teach them the fact that in your pursuit of this life, or in your pursuit of what's called the American dream, you can't be wrapped up in your own wealth. You can't be wrapped up in your own possession. Because yes, I'm trying to do better for my children. They're trying to do better for themselves. We're trying to get out of the most dangerous areas and move to some place that's safe. In that pursuit, I still have to keep the laws of the Most High God in my remembrance. So I can't turn a blind eye to my brother or sister that's hungry. I can't now take it upon myself that because you're a single mother, it's okay to open up an OnlyFans page and promote promiscuity and sell your body online. Why are you doing that? Because of the love of money. That covetous eye has taken over your mind. So men and women tend to think that that's the come up. Man, I can make thousands of dollars a month selling my body online. Selling things to my brothers and sisters that will dive them further into lewd acts or lewd behavior. Perverting your own people, man. You destroying your brother and sister. Women laying with women, men laying with men. That's a covetous eye. Because you're not satisfied with how the Most High made you. He made you with a desire towards a man. Salaki, or a man's desire towards a woman. You no longer, you don't want that to be your portion. That's why men and women are covetous. This is how they turn towards the opposite sex. Because their eye is covetous. They're not satisfied, man. Christ taught the laws of the Most High God. Trying to get our people out of sin. Trying to bring them back to a perfect standing with the Most High. Why? Because there was a separation. Isaiah taught us in the book of Isaiah chapter 59. It was your sin that caused the separation. When you violate the laws of the Most High God, you're turning your back on Him, man. You're turning your mind away from keeping what the Most High God has said. So you would do anything to get that bag. You would do anything to elevate your status in this life. To get that Hellcat or that Charger. How far are you willing to go, man? Are you bold enough to stand for the laws of the Most High God? Or you just bold enough to violate God's law and eventually face death? Because ultimately, that's what it's going to come down to. When you pervert your people, you hate your people, you murder your own people, man, God's judgment is resting. It's reserving you for the day of wrath, for the day of judgment, man. You're going to be judged. That's what the Most High God is telling these people, man.
Thank you for watching. You can support the body via Zelle or Cash App. We are the Sons of Thunder. It's our heart's prayer and desire for Israel that they might be saved.